my lovely warm drink ready to help me sleep. Now we are going to continue with the Gospel Story Bible, and I hope you've been enjoying those questions at the end to talk about, and then what every child should know about God. So snuggle down, get your cuddly toy. Billy's come to join me again, and then I will begin. Abram and God's promise. Now that the people of Babel could no longer talk with each other, they spread out over the whole earth. Different nations were formed, each with his own language. Terah, a man whose great way back grandfather was Noah's son Shem, settled with his family in a place called Haran. Terah had a son named Abram, or Abram, whichever. Abram lived in Haran with his wife Sarai and his nephew Lot. One day the Lord spoke to Abram to take his family and leave. God said, "Go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land that I will show you. And I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing." God told Abram that he would use him to bless all the families on earth, even though Abram didn't know where God was sending him. He trusted God's words to him. So when he was 75 years old, Abram moved away from Haran with Sarai, Lot, their servants, and everything they owned. Remember, outside his own country, Abram wouldn't have understood the languages of the people he would meet. But God gave Abram faith to obey. God was about to start his plan to rescue people from the curse that came when Adam and Eve first sinned. Along the way, Abram sinned too, but God didn't leave Abram. When Abram passed through the land called Canaan, the Lord appeared to him and promised to give the land to Abram and his children. Abram built an altar to the Lord and then continued his journey. When he arrived safely in Bethel, he built another altar to the Lord. After a great famine forced Abram to move to Egypt, he returned to Bethel to live. In all their travels, the Lord blessed Abram and Lot. Their flocks of animals grew and grew until they filled the land. After a while, there wasn't enough room for Abram and Lot to stay together. Each of their flocks needed so much land for food and water, even their shepherds began to argue. When Abram saw that they were running out of space, he asked Lot to choose where he wanted to live. If Lot wanted to go left, Abram would go to the right. Lot chose to live in a beautiful valley with lots of grass, rivers and streams. With his family and herds, Lot travelled away from Abram. He went to the cities of the valley and pitched his tent near a city called Sodom. After Lot left, the Lord spoke to Abram and said, "Lift up your eyes and look from the place where you are, northwards and southwards and eastwards and westward. For all the land you see I will give you and to your offspring forever." God told Abram he would have so many children and grandchildren that they could not be counted, just like the specks of dust on the earth can't be counted. Lot chose the best piece of land, but Abram received the promise of God. Through Abram, we have all been blessed, just as God promised, because it is by the death and resurrection of his great, far-off grandson Jesus that all those who believe inherit the promise of Abram forever. Let's talk about it. So look at the picture. What is Lot looking at and what is Abram looking at? Would you rather live in a town or in the country? What did God give Abram that was better than living in town? So have a little chat with your grown-ups about those questions. Okay, prophets wrote the Bible. This is a prophet. He lived a long time ago. He listened to God and wrote down what God said. He was writing part of the Bible. The Bible was written by many different people. God chose prophets, kings, and friends of Jesus to write down all the things he wanted us to know about him. So there's a question here. What is the prophet doing? Can you remember what it said? What's it look like? That's right. He's writing part of the Bible. So thank you for joining me for another story time. It's lovely to share this time with you. Let's finish with a prayer, and you can do any kind of amen you want. Dear God, we thank you that we are blessed by you because of what Abram has done. He was faithful to you, he listened to you. Please help us, God, to listen to you all the time. And we thank you that the prophets wrote the Bible so that we can read all about you and learn all about how much you love us and learn about Jesus and the Holy Spirit too. Amen. Well, I'm going to finish off my lovely warm drink, put my pajamas on and get into bed. So, night night, sleep tight, God bless and see you soon. Bye.